Today I'm going to show you how to do another Art Deco style fashion illustration inspired by the work of artist Erté. Erté was one of the most popular fashion illustrators in the Art Deco time period. In the 1920s, he did a lot of designs for silent film costumes and plays, and he was also an interior designer. His work is iconic of the Art Deco style, which is characterized by really elongated figures and a lot of simple shapes and simple coloring, not a lot of shading, with very specific color schemes. So he didn't use every color in the rainbow in each of his designs. His color schemes were very deliberate, a lot of high contrast, a lot of geometric shapes and forms. What we're going to focus on today is creating a fantastical silent movie style costume. In silent films, because there weren't words, they really had to rely on visuals to get the point across. And their costumes were often very elaborate, full scale with sculptured headpieces, really dramatic makeup, just all the works. So this is going to be a fun project. You can get really creative with it. And all you're going to need is a permanent black ink pen and some markers. The first thing we're going to do is outline the head shape. Again, it's really simple forms, just an oval with a little point at the bottom for the chin, curved lines straight down for the neck, and now I'm adding some fun hair to mine. So I'm making some waves going out for the hair. My costume is going to be inspired by a night sky. And so I'm making her hair flow outward to kind of look like the rays, the light rays kind of undulating out from a star. You can theme your costume around anything you want. This is just an example. Like I said, you can really get creative with this. And I've outlined mine in pencil first, just for the ease of this video. And this is something you'll probably want to do at home too before you start on the ink. I'm just adding simple angles for the arms. I'm going to have her holding a firework looking star bouquet. And now I'm adding a headdress piece. So I'm just making a little crown of stars going around the top of the oval shape for her head first. And then just adding a rounded half circle moon shape to finish it off, like a little cap. Adding some little circles for beading decoration. Again, you're using really simple shapes for this. This is why it's such a fun style of illustration to do, because you don't need to get overly detailed or complicated. So even if you're a beginning level drawer, this is something you could definitely do. Adding some little diamond shaped earrings. And then from there, I'm detailing the face. Just simple almond shapes for the eyes with a circle in the center for the pupil, just solid black circle. Then I'm just adding some little swirly tufts of hair sticking out from the top of her cap as well. Just simple art shapes for the eyebrows, and then a little triangle for the nose, and for the lips just a heart shape on top and a U shape on the bottom. Really simple shapes. And now I'm adding a big moon sticking out from the top of her cap. Often their headdresses really defied gravity. If you look up, just Google some silent film costumes online, you can see they got really big and sculptural and extravagant in some cases. So you can really have fun with this. Now I'm just adding some angle lines to finish out her waist. And real simple triangles for the top of her dress. And then to finish off the shape of the dress, I'm just doing classic ball gown shape and just adding some curved lines going downward. Now for her bouquet, I'm making it all made out of stars, so I'm just drawing a lot of simple star shapes in a big cluster. And then to fill in the empty space, I'm just making some circles. And then I'm going to make some little rays shooting out to give it the look of like a firework with some little small circles on the end that could look like beads or smaller stars. And now it's time to color. So I'm starting out by just shading in her skin tone. And when you're coloring with markers, you want to try to go all in the same direction so that you get even coverage in the end. And what I find is simpler is to kind of outline the edge where it meets against the black outline first, and then fill in from there. And that just ensures that you have an easier time staying within the boundaries of your lines. Now next I'm filling in her dress, and I'm going to do the outside folds of her dress in just a basic black. And now I'm going to fill in the center of her dress with a little bit of pattern and design. So I'm going first with the gray, and I'm just making some swirled streaks to kind of give the look of when you look up at a galaxy, kind of taking inspiration almost from Van Gogh's Starry Night a little bit as well. And I'm going in with a different color, making the same swirling streaks, just using the tip of my brush, holding it at a slight diagonal angle. And I'm just going to keep layering the different colors I chose to use until it's all filled in and there's not any more of the white showing. I'm just going to keep layering my colors. Now next I'm filling in my star bouquet, and so I'm just going around and outlining just the outside of my little circles and leaving the center white, and this is going to make them look really reflective and shiny. And I'm also doing the same thing as I fill in my stars with a silver color. Some of them I'm doing solid, and then some of them I'm leaving a little bit of white where the light would be hitting it as a reflection. And now I'm just coloring in her headdress. And I'm keeping with similar colors throughout. I'm using a lot of blues, the black and gray or silver neutrals, and then some little pops of gold and yellow. And keeping with really 3 or 4 colors about to have a defined color scheme. Next, I'm going to start to fill in the hair, in a variety of different gold and yellow colors. And for this, you want to use the very tip of your marker. And by holding your marker up at almost a complete 90-degree angle and just using the very tip, pressing down really lightly, you're going to be able to get thinner lines to fill in those really tiny areas as the hair comes out from her neck. Now you can give your girl a little bit of makeup. So I'm just adding a peachy color to the lips and then going with a blue along the top of her eyes, just filling in that space between the top of her eyes and her eyebrows. From here, we're going to start the background. You can either color it all in solid or add a pattern. This time I'm going to add a pattern. And what I'm doing is, again, just going with the tip of my marker, and I'm making a geometric outline along the boundaries of my image. Then all I'm doing is making some quick streaks with my marker held a little bit of a diagonal on the top and bottom of these boundaries I've created. And this is going to add a little bit of dimension and also make our main image really pop off the paper. With the Art Deco style fashion illustration, the focus is really on the figure, not the background. So often backgrounds were very simple, very high contrast, and were created to draw attention to the figure and their outfit. Thank you so much for drawing with me. If you tried this at home, we'd love to see the costumes you created. So you can go ahead and drop a picture in the comments on our Creative 360 Facebook. Thank you again.